Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Top of the morning to you. I am Addul Ali and welcome to Top of the Morning. Thanks for checking us out here on Millennium TV. Make sure you get the app on your Roku, Amazon, Apple, or your Samsung Smart TV so you can check us out anywhere, anytime you would like. And if you want to support us directly, please don't hesitate to jump on over to tuconservative.com. It's a great morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you got your cup of coffee. You got over the New Year's hangover from all the partying you did on Saturday night. You should have took Sunday to recover, but it is January 2nd, 2023. Your boy Joe Biden is still the worst president in U.S. history. And thanks again for checking us out here. We got a couple of little things we're going to talk about. It's early in the year. So first and foremost, if you haven't heard already, rapper out of Memphis from the 3-6 Mafia, Gangsta Boo, passed away, was found unresponsive. It's a suspected drug overdose, early 40s, man. So interesting start to 2023 for the hip hop community with the loss of Gangsta Boo. I think that's two people from the 3-6 Mafia clique. So rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers out to her family and her loved ones. I mean, no matter what it is, 40 something is still a young age to be checking out. So that's already in the news, man. Gangsta Boo checked out. So there you have that. Also, we found out that Trump's taxes, man, you would think, right, with the way they've been going after this dude's taxes for like the last, 10 years, 15 years, ever since he came down the escalator, we know it notched up, right? But taxes turn out to be a big nothing burger. And I got a question for you. When are we going to see Nancy Pelosi's taxes? When are we going to see Chuck Schumer's taxes? When are we going to see Adam Schiff's taxes, since we're at the looking at taxes things? And from what people could see, Trump actually paid what he was supposed to pay. Man did what he was supposed to do. How can you judge a guy, right? I thought they were going to be, it's damning and he didn't pay his taxes and he's criminally liable for avoiding taxes. And I mean, you got to think about something. Whose job is it to pay more taxes is the question. Are you under any obligation to figure out a way to pay more taxes? And if you're on the left and you're going after Trump for his taxes, let's see your taxes. Why don't you pay some more? All right, we're already paying gas tax and food tax and a sales tax and a property tax and a payroll tax if you own a business. And in some places you have a corporate income tax. So, I mean, are we not taxed enough already? Jeez. Well, you'll be glad to know here in North Carolina, a new law went into effect dropping the personal income tax rate. So more money going in the pockets of North Carolinians as a result of conservative policy. So all y'all people in Charlotte, all y'all people in Raleigh, all y'all people in Durham, let's talk about the Republicans ain't do nothing for nobody. You need to look at your taxes this year when you file. And if you notice a little bit more bread in your pocket, that's because of the work that Republicans have done over the last 10 years. Fiscal policy, good conservative, sound fiscal policy is always helpful. So a couple of things we're going to talk about. I don't even know how to segue into this, folks. I'm just going to let y'all look at that for a second here. What you actually have here is a, I don't know if you want to call it a cisgender man having the baby of a, I don't even know how to begin to explain this to y'all. The caption on this was so baffling. Y'all just look at that picture for a second and listen to this. A transgender man gives birth to non-binary partner's baby with female sperm donor. I can't make this up. I'm gonna read it for you one more time. A transgender man gives birth to a non-binary partner's baby with a female sperm donor. Okay, I'm confused because this looked like regular people to me. I'm thoroughly confused. Have we gotten to the point in society where this sentence actually makes sense? So let's try to a transgender man. So is that a woman that is now a man gives birth to a non-binary? So it's not a man or a woman. So a woman gives birth to a female sperm donor, folks. Is that does that make any sense to y'all? I mean, go ahead and spit your coffee out like I did when I first read this. Just go ahead and spit it out now. I don't understand. I just don't get it where we are. Why are we trying to break the rules here? There are certain rules to society. And one of the rules is men give off sperm, women have eggs and ovaries and such, and women have babies. Why are we trying to overturn this in society? It is just the oddest thing. And here's my question. Don't you have anything else going on in your life? Don't you have a job? I mean, you would think people would have a job. You don't have time to sit around the house and go through hormone therapy and like who has this time? Okay, what state is this? I got to figure out what state this is because this is by far one of the oddest things that I've seen, and I've been looking this morning for strange news. But this takes the cake. I'll read it to you one more time just in case. A transgender man gives birth to a binary partner's baby with female sperm donor. Yeah, if that makes as little sense to you as it does to me, go on and put a shot of rum in your coffee. Go ahead and put a shot of Henny in your coffee. This is the only way you're going to deal with the world. We're going to take a quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning. I'm your host, Addul Ali. I hope everybody's doing fine. If you're just jumping in to check us out, you're watching on Millennium TV. You can also support us directly by visiting tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership to the platform. The Hamilton plan is still only $10, and you get to help us keep the show going. Make sure you join us tonight live at 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative podcast each and every Monday night. Now, folks, we have not only on this show, but over on the Urban Conservative, we have consistently, constantly, without fail, been amazed at Kamala Harris's ability to have the inability to not answer a question. The word salad she is famous for. We're going to continue to do what we've always done, like that kind of thing. But Kamala Harris, other than being the lock a brother up, cackling hyena of a vice president who's failing us miserably, overseeing or having anything to do with the southern border, also has something interesting going on. And folks, I thought they said you get the yabby yab, you don't get the thingy thing, right? That's not the case now. Now what they're saying is you can still get the thingy thing even if you got 4, 5, 6s of the yabby yabs, right? So Kamala is now requiring anybody that's 2 years or older. She's saying if you're a family member of a U.S. senator who's getting sworn in, and you want to take a picture with her at the Tuesday swearing in ceremony for the new Congress, you have to have a negative coronavirus test within 24 hours if you're 2 years or older. So you can't even get in the picture with the vice president. You are brand new senator or a brand new congressman. You want to take a picture with Kamala Harris. I don't know why you would want to take a picture with Kamala Harris. I mean, that might cause some stuff at the crib. We know her and Willie Jackson, whatever his name was. But just think about this: the yab is supposed to be the newest and the most effective, and we've researched it so well, and you know what's happening with it. What are you worried about? You got the yabby yab, you got your face napkin on. You should be all right. What you worried about, Kamala? If everything's supposed to be working fine, I mean, look, we're at an age, we're at a point now in our country where people are falling for the most idiotic things, the most ridiculous things. Look, 2 years old and up, right? Like there's going to be a 3-year-old that wants to get in a picture. Like, I get it. I totally get it. I get the 2 years old and up, right? But first of all, have you ever been to an event where somebody decides not to get a babysitter or bring the baby? That never ends up working out well. Like there's always that random cry at the most inopportune time. So I wouldn't recommend bringing your 1 or 2-year-old to the congressional swearing in. It just won't go well. But the other side of this is just think about the hypocrisy that we're facing. Think about how much hypocrisy we've gotten. We've got Fauci, we've got Biden, we've got all of these people, Joe Biden telling people at the New Year's thing to take the daggone vaccine, still pushing the vaccine on people. We see up in New York, they got to let these people back to work. I mean, I think Republicans ought to take a look at the origins of this thing in a real way. Now that we've got control of the Congress, we really need to be looking into the origins of this. We need to be looking into the yab just to make sure what's going on, because I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. We've already said this already, that, a lot of these conspiracy theory people are now starting to tell the truth and notice that things are true that they've talked about. I'm just saying there's a lot of young people who went out there and got that yabster, and now they're just dropping like flies. I mean, I don't know what caused Gangsta Budapest, but hey, we know she folk out there, passing on this take the yabby yab stuff. So we got to see. Kamala Harris is basically requiring everybody to get a COVID test. I guess she don't want to get sick again, even though she got the yab. We'll see how that works out. Speaking of that, it was a interesting news last week. Because Kamala Harris is supposed to be our border czar, Title 42 was allowed to remain in place. Thank heavens. Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, praised the decision by the Supreme Court. Also, you got to consider the relief that has to mean for people that have these border towns and live in these border towns and even live as far as 50, 60 miles away. We talked about that last week, y'all. There's a lady 50, 60 miles away. They're trying to break in her shed. They're cutting her fence. And, you see these coyotes dragging people, trying to get them where they need to go, where they want to go, and all that kind of thing. We're also working on getting Tom Homan, the former director of ICE, on the show so you guys can hear it. There's some myths, okay, that you got to deal with in order to understand what's really happening at the southern border. So we make this claim a lot of times, oh, these people come here and get welfare. Well, that is not necessarily true in all cases. You may get state welfare in California or some of these sanctuary cities, but as far as like a federal welfare, a lot of these folks that are here illegally don't qualify for that. So we've got to stop spreading the misinformation about what's happening when it comes to the actual what illegal aliens qualify for and don't qualify for. We know there's been some pushing for a pathway to citizenship for the children of people who came here undocumented, and I think they ought to. I mean, if you're a tax-paying, hard-working, you haven't committed crime, you're out here trying to do things the right way, you've declared yourself, immigration knows that you're here, and you've been here since you're a little kid, I think we ought to figure out a way to make those people either get permanent residency or some pathway to citizenship. But I don't think amnesty for illegal immigrants, illegal aliens is the way to go. I don't know. I could be wrong. Y'all tell me what you think. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you think about that. I don't think we should be just wholesale giving people amnesty for coming across the border illegally. They shouldn't do it. And I mean, look, now we're at a point where we're starting to understand the economic impact, unskilled labor, what that does to our economy, and who that actually hurts. So we got to be mindful of this. I hope y'all be mindful of this and take a look at it. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back here on Top of the Morning. Keep sipping your coffee, share the content. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, folks. I'm your host, Addul Ali. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Millennium TV. We really appreciate you. If you haven't done so, make sure you get that Roku app, that Amazon TV, or that Apple TV so that you can check us out anytime, anywhere you want. And you can also support the platform directly over at tuconservative.com. I got to give a big shout out to all our friends and supporters and everybody that checks out this show and the Urban Conservative every Monday night, 8 p.m. So, folks, there you have it, man. That is the look of a man who is highly stressed out. And why would he be highly stressed out? Well, because the Walt Disney Company saw a $123 billion of its market value evaporate in 2022 as its stock dropped 44% amid profitability concerns. They've had CEO musical chairs and a suicidal embrace of woke identity politics. The Way of Water, the Avatar movie, couldn't even help the studio's financial outlook as investors brace for what looks like a turbulent several months ahead. Disney's abysmal 2022 represents the worst year since 1974, when the company's stock dropped 54%, according to the Dow Jones market data. For 2022, Disney stock was the second worst performing among the 30 companies that comprise the Dow Jones Industrial Average, after Salesforce.com, whose stock fell 48%. Disney has experienced a nonstop parade of bad news in 2022, with the company reporting surprisingly weak profitability for its most recent quarter, sending the stock in a downward spiral, prompting the abrupt firing of CEO Jack Shapick and the return of former CEO Bob Iger. Now, Disney also picked an ill-advised fight with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over the state's anti-grooming, parental rights, and education law, and as a result, Walt Disney World lost its lucrative self-governing status in the Orlando area, a privilege that the company's enjoyed for decades. Now, the company has increasingly embraced the radical LGBTQ activism and has incorporated this LGBTQ activism into its movies, into its films. And look, Raheem was just down there in Disney, right? It's not like they were having drag queen story hour down at Disney, but you got to look at some of the movies they've been putting out and some of the ideas they're putting in these movies, man. I mean, the idea of a 4-year-old seeing same-sex couples on the show, like, why? I could never understand that. Even with my kids, guys, we never let our kids watch. I mean, we knew what Disney was. They had, like, what was the show? I think that was it, That's So Raven, or whatever one of them Disney shows was. That was okay. But this idea that you have same-sex children shows, this woke ideology of promoting the LGBT community that is not what the American people want. And I mean, let's be real. Just do your Googles. What percentage of the population is LGBTQ? Okay. And you'll make the argument, you'll say, oh, well, not every LGBTQ person who's LGBTQ, they won't check the box for fear. Hi, listen, it's 2023. Ain't nobody got no fear of coming out. I just, the other day, I did something I normally don't do, which is I popped on network television. And you're not going to tell me this isn't about grooming. Okay. So check this out. There's a show. It's some sort of drag queen show, and it's called Sweet 16 or whatever. Now, I think it has something to do with the fact that there might be 16 contestants, but it's a little odd that you would call the show Sweet 16. Who are you trying to attract with this, right? And then it was just one of the most bizarre things I'd ever seen. I just saw this commercial. I'm like, I personally don't get it. But when you go woke, you go broke. And Disney is a prime example of that. You look at NASCAR, you look at certain things, certain businesses decide to follow this air finger quote woke ideology, and that's what you have. And I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of the term woke. It's starting to lose its luster. Let's just call it what it is. There is a perverse ideology that's infiltrating our school system, our education system, the entertainment industry. And we're not going to act like Hollywood ain't always been on it like this. But the idea here is that the American public, the buying public, the people with disposable income, the parents of young children, don't want their children sexualized. They don't want their children indoctrinated into non-traditional thoughts and non-traditional family values. And to lose $123 billion of your market share should be a warning sign to folks. That should be a warning sign that the American public's not going to have this woke ideology. Now, we're not a big fan of it. I don't personally get the whole drag queen. I don't personally understand, how in a kid's movie you're going to have two dudes kissing or two chicks. Look, is it a reality that we live in, that there are same-sex couples? Yes, but what does that have to do with children? We're looking at, and we reported here, there's all over the country, these youth transition centers are closing because of how barbaric it is, man. People are seeing the news about how we're mutilating children's genitals. We just started out today with a show I can't understand it. A transgender man has a non-binary partner's baby with females. And this is the stuff Disney wants us to accept. This is the stuff they want to indoctrinate your children into. It's by far some of the most just weirdest ideology that you could have out there. And look, Disney's paying for it. $123 billion is gone. Disney's apparently not gay enough for GLAAD, receives an insufficient mark in the annual LGBTQ inclusivity report card. So there's people they're not mad, they're not gay enough. Apparently, they're not indoctrinating your children enough. Now, reports are out there that it has been a terrible year for Hollywood overall. All the major Hollywood studios, streamers, cable providers, and other media giants lost a combined $542 billion in market share in 22, with the left-wing Disney, Netflix, and Comcast accounting for the bulk of the bloodshed. Now, you also have to remember something. People are done with the mainstream media. That's why platforms like ours, things like Millennium TV, are so important to help us continue to get the word out and to tell these regular run-of-the-mill marketing and media companies that people sometimes just want to be informed. They don't need all the extra stuff. We don't want our children indoctrinated into the LGBTQ lifestyle. I mean, look, a kid turns 18, figures he's gay. What can you do about that, right? But 8, 7, 10, 12-year-old to have them at a drag queen story hour, to be putting same-sex couples in the cartoons and all that is just not what the American people want. They don't want the continued chaos that is Hollywood. You look how well Top Gun Maverick did. And I watched the movie. Let me tell you, it's airplanes. It was airplanes. It was no agenda. It was just stupid American entertainment, as it were. And that's what people want when they want to be entertained. They want to just forget about the troubles of their lives and have some fun. They don't want to necessarily have all of this wokeism shoved down their throat. I mean, even the idiot Dr. Umar was talking about how bad the Wakanda movie, the new Black Panther movie, is too woke. Then you got this Queen Warrior thing. Tomorrow on Top of the Morning, though, y'all are not going to want to miss tomorrow's show. We're going to have a very interesting conversation about this whole idea, whether Black people, the ancient Egyptians were Black. We're going to touch on that because that seems to be a trending thing in the news. We also have a special guest joining us this week. Michelle Woodhouse, former district chair, NC GOP district chair, is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about Tom Tillis and Richard Burr, their votes on marriage, and so much more right here on Top of the Morning. So stay tuned. We really appreciate you. We'll be back tonight for the Urban Conservative Podcast. So make sure you join us for that. It has been a great morning. Enjoy your day. It's January 2nd. Joe Biden is still the worst president. This has been Top of the Morning. My name is Addul Ali. We'll check y'all tomorrow morning and see you tonight for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Peace.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.